What's up, guys? Time to show off the newest build. This one is actually another Wostok mod, or Vostok in Europe. One of those dials from 70s, 80s. This one also referenced made in USSR, and I took a picture of it just for whomever gets to watch, they can see it. This was a little bit of an oversized dial that's rolled, and the newer style cases that I put in, you can't actually see any of that writing along the bottom. It's just not quite available. Plus, I've got a tension ring inside the glass that runs around for extra depth, so it actually blocks that. If that wasn't in there, you might be able to kind of see as it's rolled down in there, but you've got your made in USSR reference on there. So this is just a vintage dial that I pulled off a 2409 movement. Did new pointer hands on it with the Joker seconds hand. Did a 160 case. This is the mix between the 350 and the 090 that they only do on the special edition cases. Special edition dials, typically your Chernobyl style glow in the dark, or what is it, the Pipret, I believe is what they're called. So that's about the only thing you can get with a 160 case. So a little bit more expensive, but you are getting, you know, you can only get those dials with that case. They typically come with an aftermarket Vostok engraved B, and they normally come with a custom caseback. So on this one, since we had a vintage dial, I went with a vintage 420 brass bezel that I found that was the closest in coloration to that dial. So you're dealing with two items that are both about 40 years old. So your 160 case, your Vostok B. Then I actually used one of, I don't have too many of these case backs anymore. I think I have two. And then this one was a bit distressed, where at one point I had aged it. It was going to go on another build, and then I didn't do that build. And I've been holding on to it for probably, no joke, 5 or 6 years. And I thought this is the perfect time to use that here. So that distressed look to it, I thought went perfect. So you've got a, you can't quite tell, but you have a stainless steel movement holder in there as well. I grabbed one of the brass Vostok Europe rotors. It's slightly aged. It has my full logo on there. So that's also pretty cool. Did lug extensions on this, since these have the lugs tucked up under. Typically it will make your strap kind of stick out a little straight, or just swing straight down, but it won't go up. Not that you need your strap to go up, but it just, you can tell there's a bit of a restriction on it. So lug extensions on this to kick them out. You can obviously take those off. These are quick release bars here, and then you would just pop out your spring bar here and then reattach it up here. This is on a nice custom wristbound strap. Kind of has a nice distressed look to it. And then I grabbed a brass preview buckle. We aged it and then lasered it, and it kind of flows with it smoothly. So this one will be available in tomorrow night's event. You got a couple nice things going with it. This was on a serviced movement that I pulled off, so it was on a 2409 that was serviced. Obviously new hands. You're getting a 160 case, which is, like I said, only, it's a more expensive case these days. Versus some of the other ones that I'm doing, it's $40 more. And then you're getting a vintage brass bezel. And then you used to be able to get these full-size rotors, but when you could now, they're, I think, $15 a pop. At one point they were $7 or $8. Often they'll run out of regular rotors, and you'll get some of those on some of the movements that I buy. You don't get them too often, but when you do, they're typically the like charcoal colored ones. So a lot of cool things you don't normally get. Wanted to make sure they were all on this watch. So bezel on this will turn left, it'll turn right. It is a tension ring bezel. It's on there decently tight, but with it being so close to the case and not being at the sides, it should only move if you want it to move. Automatic mechanical, as you saw on the back. As you're moving, that rotor's moving, and it's putting micro winds into the movement and keeping that power reserve maxed out. So if you wind it up, the more you move, you will max that out. It's got a 31-hour power reserve on it. Before you set the time, before you put it on, make sure you pre-wind it just a little bit, because if you don't, and you don't have anything built up in that power reserve, you might have it kind of pause every once in a while. So what you want to do is back the crown off the threads until you hear it and feel it clicking. At that point, you can wind. And a wind is a turn away from you, or clockwise, you're looking at it from the side. Counterclockwise doesn't do anything, but it is a lot easier to keep your finger spacing and just go back and forth. So if you do that for 4 or 5 seconds, that mixed with that rotor movement will keep your time throughout the day. And if you do it for another 4 or 5 seconds, you will max out the 31-hour plus power reserve on it. You cannot overwind it, so don't worry about that. When you're happy with your winding, you're going to pull it to the one and only click. You can now set your time. You'll notice you do not have a hacking movement. That second hand's going to keep going. And also, you're going to notice you have a wobble crown. Basically a little like ball joint there at the top where that stem connects. The stem stays straight, but the head has movement. That deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the keyless works. So when you're pushing and prying on it, you're not putting any adverse pressure on that stem. So at this point, you can now set your time. Alexa, what time is it? 10:16 p.m. 10. Push this over, get it out of that time setting, and then wind it down. And that is the Wostok mod, which is just a European issued Vostok, so that's why you've got the W on there. If you can see it from the side, actually it's kind of under that, but you can see your W right there. So, nice old vintage dial. As with every build, you're going to get complementing beads. This is also going to come in a Vostok, one of my original slider boxes with tiny pillow. Oh, no pillow, you're not going to get one. It's just going to be a watch flopping around in there. I will find a properly sized pillow for this. These are the original boxes that I had made whenever I was only doing Vostok mods back 6 and 7 years ago. So nice old box. Sometimes I pull the pillows out depending on what watches I'm selling, because sometimes the pillows that I have on one look better on others. So I have like 7 or 8 other boxes. So you'll probably have a striped or plaid gray and black pillow is probably what you'll get. So slider box there, so back and forth. It's going to come with a few things. Watch cleaner. This is good on all glass and metal. It's everything there in the center. Non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue, as well as a microfiber. You also get leather conditioner to keep that strap perfectly soft. Probably won't need it on this, but if you would need it, apply it on the back, use a rag or something, get it in there, let it soak in, and it will be nice and pliable thereafter. And then lastly, you're going to get some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon, just repackaged. It's like Polywatch, and it's for the domed acrylic glass. You can scratch it, but if you do, you'll put a tiny bit of that on it, and you'll buff it out with your additional microfiber. Just generate some heat with your thumb and buff it out. And that's the build, or the mod, whatever you want to call it. If it's going to you, congrats. I hope you love it. You are wearing something that is, I mean, the movement's new, the case is new, the hands are new, but the bezel and the dial are old. So just kind of preserving some of that history. The caseback is not old, so don't think it is. It just looks old, as well as the preview buckle. So that's just aged, as is this. So, but your dial is vintage, your bezel is vintage. So everything else is all new parts to just complement those. So like I said, if it's going to you, congrats. I hope you love it. And if you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe. So I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.